Some breaking news right now. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life while he was behind bars here in New York City. Epstein was facing trafficking charges.
The newest wave of leaked files hit Washington like a lightning bolt, and the shock spread fast because these weren't rumors anymore. These were official records, names, dates, emails, private exchanges, and quiet connections laid bare for the world to see. The public already knew Jeffrey Epstein moved like he believed he was the smartest man in every room, collecting secrets the way other people collect trophies, building a network where information was currency and silence was protection.
It reinforced the research that I did on my book that Jeffrey Epstein has always viewed himself as smarter than everybody else, and he also has collected people all along the way, particularly over the 2 decades through his trafficking. And that was always to get secrets and bits of information about individuals that he could pass to other people. He trafficked.
But nobody expected these late 2025 releases to drag fresh attention toward figures who once seemed far outside his orbit. One of the biggest surprises was how the timelines lined up with some of the most high-profile entertainment scandals in recent years, creating a picture that didn't look random at all.
Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me.
Epstein's old attitude lived through those documents. Lowercase messages, strange punctuation, bragging remarks about political names, and whispers of people he claimed knew far more than they ever admitted. This time, one of the most explosive threads connected these emails to a bigger web involving Diddy's legal downfall.
She probably wants to get out early. So I think that we have more digging to do. I think the DOJ transparency effort here is the right thing. But the reason it's on a Friday, Will, is I think there are no smoking guns. There's other places we have to look.
Well, Buck,
Years of allegations resurfacing and long-buried disputes connected to Steve Harvey's household drama that once seemed unrelated but now sit in the same storm cloud. These weren't scattered incidents. These were overlapping worlds moving through the same circles of prestige, power, and silence. Before his death in 2019, Epstein acted like he carried a shield nobody could break, talking casually about presidents, public figures, and witnesses who had seen more than they wanted the world to know. Meanwhile, Diddy's lifestyle behind closed doors was finally exposed in court. Testimonies describing organized encounters, people flown across city lines, controlled environments, and recordings that prosecutors argued were used for leverage. He walked away from the heaviest charges in 2025, but guilty verdicts on 2 serious transport counts landed him a 50-month federal sentence.
They're suddenly going to be in the spotlight, and that's just a kind of a strange scenario that we're finding ourselves in. As to why they released it, I mean, look, the grand jury materials, I think, were kind of properly protected by a judge who said, no, it's not enough just that the world's really excited and wants to know kind of scurrilous details about Epstein and Maxwell. The judge, I think, properly, respected the statutory.
Behind those walls, reports say he's facing restrictions and sanctions, turning him into what insiders call a high-value inmate, someone whose knowledge alone makes him complicated to manage. And while all this was happening, Steve Harvey was out front selling a polished, family-friendly image, relationship books, motivational talks, clean comedy, advice shows, and festival promotions. But behind the scenes, old disputes refused to die. His ex-wife publicly accused him of emotional harm and manipulation, claims she said left deep marks years after their divorce. The lawsuit she filed in 2017 used terms like conspiracy and psychological damage.
I'll have no fury like a woman scorned. Well, Steve's learning that the hard way tonight. Steve's ex-wife, Mary Harvey, is angry, and she's going...
Now, I'm a Christian, but I ain't that good a Christian.
Words that never matched the cheerful persona he presented to the world. The case got tossed on a technicality, never tested in court, never fully answered, just pushed aside into silence. Now, with Epstein's files unsealed, Diddy's conviction official, and Harvey's old accusations going viral again, all 3 stories have collided into one massive spotlight. A spotlight shining on power, protection, secrets, and the hidden connections that kept certain names untouched for years.
So I just keep going through. But then I'll tell you something too. Haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something.
When the House dropped more than 20,000 pages from the Epstein collection, the political world turned into a circus overnight. Lawmakers pointed fingers, networks ran emergency broadcasts, and analysts argued over whether the timing was tactical or accidental. But one thing was clear: the emails weren't random chatter. They painted a picture of a man who believed he could move through elite circles without consequences, a man who treated access like a game and information like a weapon. In one thread, Epstein claimed certain political names knew about the girls, a claim investigators are still examining with extreme caution. In another, he swapped messages with author Michael Wolff about shaping public narratives, hinting at how influence was traded behind closed doors. At the same time, Diddy's case was still sending aftershocks through entertainment. The testimonies described a lifestyle built on control and secrecy, private flights, exclusive gatherings, long nights filmed and cataloged, and teams of insiders who handled logistics quietly for years. Prosecutors argued that this system didn't appear overnight. It developed over a decade. When a New York jury cleared him of the heaviest racketeering and coercion charges, some thought he was free until the transport convictions hit, carrying up to 10 years each.
He's a man with the power. He's in 60 markets. He's written these books. He's socially connected with the programs and Disney and all these type people.
Now he sits in a federal facility in New Jersey with a release date in 2028, trying to appeal while over 70 civil suits continue building around him. And then came the timeline twist. Steve Harvey's family stepped into the picture through a moment that went viral back in 2019. Those infamous Italy photos. Lori Harvey, an influencer rising fast in her 20s, was seen traveling and dining publicly with Diddy, who was nearly 50 at the time. Some photos even showed Lori sitting close to him with her parents nearby. Fans couldn't believe it. People wondered how a man known nationwide as America's dad, a man who sold books on strict values and relationship guidance, stayed silent while his stepdaughter appeared beside a figure surrounded by years of whispers and controversy. Back then, media brushed the story off as harmless celebrity gossip. Some insisted it was a grief period friendship after Diddy lost Kim Porter.
Troll.
Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me.
Others claimed Lori and Diddy's son Justin were never romantically involved, dismissing the public speculation. But now, years later, with a criminal conviction on Diddy's record and new details about his past behavior exposed, those lighthearted vacation photos feel unsettling, like snapshots taken during a time when deeper truths were still hidden behind nightclub walls and private jet curtains. The resurfaced images raised old questions with new force. What did Steve Harvey know back then, and was his silence a fatherly decision or a strategic one? Because silence in Hollywood isn't always quiet. Sometimes it's the loudest move a person can make.
My wish to you is success and millions and billions.
Behind the glitz and showmanship, Steve Harvey's legal history has shadows people forgot about, until these recent document drops dragged everything back into the spotlight. His ex-wife, Mary Harvey, once went public accusing him of psychological harm, manipulation, and emotional destruction. Her 2017 lawsuit used powerful language, claiming she had suffered long-term damage while he built a growing television empire. The case didn't end because it was proven false. It ended because a judge said the filing belonged in Texas, not California. That technicality left the claims floating unanswered, never given a courtroom verdict or a factual cleanup. And now, with the other scandals rising, those claims echo louder than ever. While all this resurfaced, Steve Harvey was expanding his brand at full speed. New talk shows, festival deals, book promotions, endorsements, and motivational tours. Big corporations loved his clean, safe, fatherly image, pushing him as someone who uplifted families and inspired personal growth. But insiders knew how the industry works. Every brand wants a spokesperson who brings money, not controversy. That means anything messy is handled behind closed doors, quietly filtered, redirected, or minimized before it ever reaches the public. And this is where the connection gets interesting. During the same years Harvey's brand was exploding, both Epstein and Diddy were maneuvering inside circles fueled by influence, secrecy, and controlled narratives. Epstein used political links and hidden information as currency. Diddy's network, according to prosecutors, relied on staffers, NDAs, and coordinated logistics to maintain silence. So when fans look back and see Steve Harvey sitting at lunch with Lori and Diddy in Italy, smiling for cameras like nothing was unusual, the moment hits differently today. The question isn't whether Harvey participated in anything illegal. There is zero evidence suggesting that. The real question is whether he witnessed behavior or heard whispers at elite events that later lined up with public scandals. Because entertainment circles overlap, celebrity gatherings bring all kinds of personalities together, and silence often works as a protective shield, not an accident. If Steve commented publicly about Diddy's lifestyle back then, people would ask why he suddenly cared, and whether he ignored signs long before the photos surfaced. Mary Harvey once said she felt she had been broken down emotionally. She claimed he used influence and media connections to protect his reputation. His legal team denied everything and called her statements baseless, but the pattern still raises eyebrows, a polished image on one side, unresolved claims on the other. And now, with Epstein's emails shedding new light on old timelines and Diddy's guilty verdict changing public perception entirely, Harvey's steady silence looks like a strategic move, a way to avoid triggering questions that could open doors he'd rather keep sealed tight. As the investigation updates hit the public, analysts began pointing out something many had overlooked: the pattern of what experts call structured silence. That's when a powerful figure or corporation chooses not to speak on controversial events because acknowledging one detail could unlock a chain reaction of deeper questions. This pattern appears in all three cases. Epstein stayed protected by networks who ignored warning signs for decades. Diddy's circle allegedly enabled his behavior by keeping logistics tight and conversations quiet. And Steve Harvey's career flourished during the same period his ex-wife said she was left fighting for her dignity without the resources she believed she deserved. Diddy's prison journey added even more tension. Internal reports describe sanctions for restricted privileges, officially labeled as substance violations, but prison consultants hinted such write-ups can be used to manage high-profile inmates behind the scenes. A celebrity with dozens of lawsuits pending becomes a political situation. Every privilege, every interview request, every early release review turns into a negotiation with public opinion. One consultant said it clearly: a star like that is a walking archive, meaning the value isn't just the person, but the secrets they carry. Epstein operated with the same mindset, using information as leverage. His emails showed him bragging, hinting, coaching narratives, and acting like his knowledge made him untouchable. Even after his 2008 charges, he kept communicating with journalists, political allies, and celebrity acquaintances as if nothing had changed. That level of confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows when a person spends years shielded by power structures that keep uncomfortable truths hidden. And then there's Steve Harvey. During the peak of all this, he was building a multi-million-dollar brand, expanding into radio, books, festivals, and hosting deals. Companies invested heavily in him because he represented safety, a positive public figure with broad appeal. So when accusations surfaced, they were handled carefully. Corporate partners don't panic, they strategize. If a partner appears in photos with someone later convicted of serious crimes, companies don't rush to answer questions. They redirect the conversation entirely. That's why Harvey's silence in 2019 hits differently now. If he had commented on Lori's connection to Diddy, journalists would have asked what he thought of Diddy's lifestyle. If he condemned anything, reporters would dig deeper into how long he'd known Diddy and what he'd seen at private events. And if he defended the situation, people would accuse him of supporting something they didn't fully understand at the time. Speaking up would have opened a door with no safe exit, so silence became the safest move. Whether intentional or not, Harvey's choice matched the same structured silence seen in these elite circles. Speak only when the path is controlled. Stay quiet when the truth is unpredictable. And now that the older scandals are resurfacing with new context, the silence feels heavier than ever. Now, late 2025 feels like a breaking point. Epstein's long-hidden emails are being studied line by line in Congress. Diddy is counting years inside a federal facility with more lawsuits piling up. And Steve Harvey's old accusations are being rewatched, re-uploaded, and rediscussed by millions who never saw the original filings. The new question isn't whether these men were connected directly. It's how the systems around them overlap, how influence protected individuals in different ways, and how silence became a powerful tool in shaping public perception. Steve Harvey's empire continues to shine on TV screens, radios, streaming platforms, and live stages. But now people are asking how that empire grew during the exact years his ex-wife said she was fighting for justice, how it thrived during years when Diddy's lifestyle was quietly building toward a criminal case, and how it stayed spotless while Epstein was exchanging emails with names that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Harvey's career is still standing strong, yet the shadow behind it gets longer each time a new document leak hits the public. To be clear, none of the released files accuse Harvey of criminal wrongdoing. His name isn't in the charges against Diddy. He wasn't part of Epstein's illegal world. But what troubles people is the proximity, the timing, the overlapping social circles, the trips, the photos, the silence, and the unresolved allegations surrounding his private life. In these elite spaces, sometimes the most powerful scandal isn't an action, it's a pattern where people in high positions move quietly around each other while the truth stays hidden behind polished branding and legal language. As more information drops, the public is starting to notice the cracks. Epstein believed secrecy would protect him forever, until it didn't. Diddy believed his reputation and reach made him untouchable, until a courtroom said otherwise. And now people wonder whether the same culture of protection once benefited Steve Harvey in ways the public never recognized. Not criminal protection, reputational protection. The kind that keeps a brand polished while messy details get sealed, buried, or redirected into silence. This is the moment everything is being questioned. Who knew what? When did they know it? And how many people stayed quiet because speaking up would cause the whole structure to fall? The timelines overlap too cleanly to ignore. The images feel different now, and the public is waking up to the reality that fame and morals don't always match behind the scenes. The next wave of released documents may answer everything or expose even more questions. One thing is clear, this story is far from finished. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next chapter of this saga is coming fast.